Well, good morning and welcome to sunny West Seattle. I am King County Executive and veteran restaurant worker Dow Constantine, and I'm here to announce today's special. But first, I have an even better announcement. We are once again putting King County at the forefront of innovative public health practices. Today, making food safety ratings more accurate and consistent and transparent. After careful study and after extensive community outreach, our public health department is launching a new system for food safety rating that has the potential to be a model for the rest of the nation. In a few minutes, I'm going to unveil the new window sign that will eventually be displayed in all restaurants in King County, illustrating their performance during food inspections. Instead of the common alphabetical system you may have seen in some other cities, we engaged restaurant owners and customers, and we created a system that can be universally understood. And we improved the data that the ratings are based on. We are the first county in the nation to base ratings on 4 inspections rather than a single snapshot, better reflecting a restaurant's performance over time. And rather than have just a single inspector go to the same restaurant over and over, we are pairing up our inspectors to have side-by-side peer inspections. It's a training tool so that our staff can learn from one another, and it is a proven approach that Stanford researchers say improves quality and consistency. We're also not going with a simple pass or fail measurement. Our new system shows how far a restaurant has gone beyond the minimum standards. King County is well known for having a diverse and thriving food scene. It's really one of our great cultural assets in this region. And King County supports restaurants in our region by providing not just inspections, but more importantly, the education and the oversight that restaurateurs need to ensure that their food is safe for everyone every day. We made sure that this new rating system is equitable, that it is fair to restaurants of all types and all sizes. And we conducted a lot of outreach, focus groups, interviews, online surveys in 8 different languages to ensure that this is a system that really will work for all. Restaurants like this one, and cafes and pubs and coffee shops, they are more than just businesses. They make our neighborhoods more vibrant places to live. They are where we gather to share a dinner or share a pint, to celebrate or to commiserate. They create community. And they reflect who we are as a community. By improving the way we promote food safety, we will do more to help restaurants succeed. A few years ago, I had the chance to go out on a tour with a restaurant inspector, one of our inspectors, Chris Skilton from the Department of Public Health. Periodically, I do a walk in the shoes of a public employee. Employees send in applications, and I chose Chris's application because it sounded interesting, and because, as I alluded at the start, I paid my dues in this business and worked in a lot of restaurants, a lot of bars, and have seen the restaurant inspector coming from the other side of the counter. So I wanted to see what his job was like, and I visited several restaurants in the University Village area and got to understand exactly how the inspectors not just identify whether things are being done right or whether there's something that needs correction, but continually educate the restaurateurs and the employees about how they can do things better. So this team of dedicated food inspectors has embraced this principle of continuous improvement. They are taking an already successful program. They're taking this successful program, and we have been very successful in King County with our food inspections, and they're making it even more helpful for the people of King County. That's the cornerstone of the work we're doing to create the nation's best run government, which is the high bar that I've set for our employees and which they strive for every day. We embrace innovation. We engage employees and empower them, and we improve quality of life in our community. And I want to thank the owners here at West Seattle Fish House for kindly letting us take over their fine establishment during the lunch hour. That was one of your customers trying to get in the door right there. We may have to make that up to you. I want to let you know that my very first restaurant job, in fact, my first job ever, was making fish and chips down there at Alki Beach. I'm glad to know that should this politics thing not work out, I have some skills I can bring to your restaurant. We're also joined by some other local restaurant owners who will be available for one-on-one interviews. Patrick Yearout of Ivers is here. Todd Carden of the LA Bay Brewing Company is expected to be here. And I would like now to introduce a fellow West Seattle native, another veteran of the food service industry, a self-described foodie. I don't know if you've ever described yourself as that actually, but you're gonna wear the label today. Councilmember Joe McDermott.
Thank you very much, Dow. I'm pleased to join you here at the West Seattle Fish House. Thank you for opening up your business for us today to make this announcement. Our families, our neighbors, our coworkers, all residents deserve to have their government actively supporting and promoting healthy communities. My first experience with public health engaged in food safety was in the early 80s, getting my food and beverage workers permit to work in a delicatessen here in West Seattle. The new food safety ratings we unveil today continue that legacy. Seattle King County Public Health fills a unique and essential role in our community, and I'm thrilled to be able to share some important steps that we're taking to better ensure that eating a meal out is safe for residents and visitors alike. Going into this work, I was chair of the Board of Health when the department began this work and continue my service on the board itself. We knew that it was vital that King County implement a system that would work well for patrons as well as for restaurant owners and operators. This meant that the process had to be easy to understand and navigate for every type of restaurant and food establishment in King County, whether they've been established for generations or recently opened, whether they were family run or corporate managed. The rating system that we've developed does just that. It not only conveys important information to diners in a simple manner, but it also meets the needs of businesses because safety ratings are based on business practices over time, as Dow said, over 4 separate visits, not based on a single day or single experience. This will give King County the opportunity to build strong, constructive relationships with businesses. Our health inspectors can work with business owners and operators to help them understand food safety and safe food handling practices, and to help them improve and adopt best practices over time. Another way that we are improving our service to businesses is by incorporating peer review inspections, which will improve the standardization of inspections. While these changes will no doubt be a benefit to our larger restaurants, I'm especially excited because it will give smaller family-owned restaurants a better inspection experience. This is an important way for King County to be a better partner to our business community while providing the needs of our community to ensure strong food safety and food handling experiences in restaurants and businesses throughout the community. Thank you so much.
Rod Dembowski is the chair of our Board of Public Health, and he is unfortunately not here at the moment because he's chairing another committee at the King County Council right now. But we do have with us the director of our Public Health Department, Patty Hayes.
Thank you so much. Today seems to be the day when folks step up and say their initial work life. So I have to say that
it's an icebreaker.
In high school and college, my parents owned a Dairy Queen, and so I started in the food service. Yummy, I know how to make all those dip things. Anyway, welcome, and we're so excited to have you here today. I'm Patty Hayes, Director of Public Health Seattle and King County. You know, public health values the importance of making health information available and accessible. We know that accurate health information is critical for you, and it's critical to make informed health decisions for yourself and your families. The new food rating system is another step towards providing reliable information for families and individuals that's important for their health. In 2001, we were the first county in Washington State to post full food safety inspection histories online. But over the years, we heard from King County residents that they wanted more information. And now we're launching this new food safety rating system. We're proud to roll out a system that is evidence-based and responds to what consumers want. You know, food safety is an everyday behavior. It takes every person in the restaurant practice to do good food safety every day. And this is a tremendous responsibility. The rating system captures behavior by basing each restaurant's rating on the average, as you've heard, of 4 recent restaurant inspections, not just one. And in addition to a great deal of work by program staff on the back end, an extraordinary amount of outreach to community members and restaurant operators was included and went into the development of this, which will be seen in all King County restaurants over the next year or so. Over 140 interviews were concluded with restaurant operators across King County. 150 participants took part in 4 focus groups, and over 3,800 members of the public responded to our online survey asking for feedback on the restaurant window sign designs. This work helped us create a rating system that's easy to understand, so that everyone can make informed decisions about eating out. And in developing this program, public health used fairness and equity to our restaurant operators in the community. We're dedicated to evaluating this system as we go out, and in order to do that, the rating system will be rolled out in 4 phases over the course of this year, starting in the northwest part of the county. Restaurants will receive their rating and window signs as they are routinely inspected. There's no greater champions for food safety than our inspectors. They have dedicated their careers to food safety, working with businesses every day to make sure they're safe for you. I'm very delighted to introduce our wonderful hosts today, the owners of the West Seattle Fish House. Sinait, Benet, and Muzette and Stan Evans. And I'd like you to come up and say a few words.
Good afternoon, or maybe it's still morning time. In any event, we're very delighted to host this event. I'm not actually an owner, but my wife, Muzette, and her sister, Sinait, are the 2 owners. I'm one of the cooks, and I love cooking. And more importantly, I like to see our customers safe and happy. And so we do our best to have a healthy restaurant and a very safe restaurant for our customers. And I really like the idea of showing a smiling face to reflect the best restaurant and the safest restaurant. Because, as you know, a smile is a silent sermon. And in this era, we need happiness and joy and to all work together as a unit. And I think by seeing a smiling face, they'll know that this is a community where they can eat, communicate, share, and enjoy themselves. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All I say is thank you very much.
And now I'd like to introduce Erica Martinez of the South Park Promotores. Erica trained community leaders to gather feedback for our project and from restaurant owners about the new rating system. And serving as her interpreter is Public Health Food Program Community Outreach Manager, Damaris Espinoza.
Hola, buenas tardes a todos. Mi nombre es Erika Martínez, soy una promotora de South Park.
Hello and good afternoon. My name's Erica and I am a promotora in South Park.
Las promotoras y yo lo que hicimos fue ir directamente con los dueños de los restaurantes para hacerlos sentir y que fueran parte del proceso.
What the promotoras did was go and speak directly to the community, to the operators, so that they feel included in the process.
Es importante tomar en cuenta y también hacer contar la voz de la comunidad.
It's very important to hear what the community says and to center their needs.
Yo junto con mis compañeras pudimos traer de una manera segura y confiable la nueva ley de salud.
I'm very happy that along with the other promotoras, we were able to inform the public of this new policy. Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you.
And we would now be happy to open it up for any questions. Or do you want to do this? So come on up. Introduce yourself.
Good afternoon. My name is Becky Elias, and I'm the manager of the Food Safety Program, and I'm happy to take any questions that you have about the system.
Becky, where are the restaurants rated on a curve?
Yeah, so what we wanted to do is to provide accurate information to the public, and what we heard from consumers is they wanted to know relative performance. How well did this restaurant do compared to other restaurants around it? And we also have learned that consumers tend to dine within a particular geographic area, and so we wanted to give them the most accurate information within the space that would be dining. We also know that our inspectors, though they're all trained in food safety and are focusing on food safety every day, that they have slight subtle differences in their inspection style. And so that was something that we wanted to account for in the rating system to make sure that all of our businesses were treated fairly and equitably. We assign our inspectors by zip code. And so with that in mind, we've used zip codes as a region where within each area we'll be able to convey to the public businesses that have met the minimum standard. They'll all be held to that same food safety standard. And then beyond that, we can share with the community how well restaurants in that area have done beyond meeting that minimum standard. Are there other questions?
So just to make sure I understand this, essentially, is there a case where you could have a restaurant who's had 4 really good inspections, thus they should be getting an excellent card in their window, but because they're being compared to other restaurants within a particular area that they might end up with good because of the curve scenario, and is that fair to that restaurant?
Yeah, we think it is a much more accurate portrayal. So the combination of doing 4 inspections, which gives people information about how well that restaurant has done on 4 different instances, and then also comparing all of those restaurants within a certain area with one another helps to enable us to be able to say to people, businesses in this excellent category are the top 50% of performing businesses in this area, and businesses in the good category are the next 40% top performers. So we're confident that with those 2 categories, 90% of our businesses fit within those 2 areas and have good food safety every day. We just want to be able to ensure for the public that when they're picking an excellent, they know that they're picking one of the best performing establishments for food safety in that area.
So an excellent in one neighborhood would be different from an excellent in another neighborhood in terms of standards?
They're all meeting the same food safety standard. It may be that there's a slightly different cutoff that puts them into that excellent or that good category, but all of our businesses continue to be held to the same food safety standard. And what we think it does is it best conveys relative performance, and it takes into account all of the dynamic changes that are happening in restaurants every day. So the combination of 4 inspections and the adjustment by zip code helps to take into account the variation that could be a new owner in the business, new workers in the business, a change in menu, or a change in inspector.
You used the word equity a few times in the presentation today. Why is that a factor when it comes to food? Because in a way, I mean, I think from the customer standpoint, isn't safe food just safe food regardless of where you're eating?
Absolutely. Safe food is the standard that we want to hold for everybody. And so when we talk about equity, we think about it both in terms of all members of our community having access to safe restaurants and having access to information equitably and fairly, that any member of our community can see the sign and understand what it means, that any member of our community or any tourist that comes here has access to that information. What it also means for us is that all of our businesses, regardless of how large or how small they are, what language they speak, that they have the same access to the tools about food safety education, that they have the same access to the expertise of our inspectors. And so we wanted to be very sure that as we were designing this, we were thinking about a way to ensure that all of those businesses and all of our community members have access to that food safety information.
I noticed you use phrases like some or many or few. Why not say the total number? You know, why not be fully transparent and give a customer an idea how many violations a restaurant has had?
Yeah. We think that we are fully transparent because we continue to make full inspection history results online. So none of that will change. People can still go online and they can see each individual violation that a business has received. What's new and what's different is that we heard from our community members that they really wanted something that was simple and easy to understand when they're just walking by the restaurant. And so what this rating system does is it meets that need. They continue to have access to all of the data, every violation, if they want to see the full inspection history. But when they're walking by and they're trying to make a snapshot decision, they're able to do that with a sign in the window. And we've used all of our best evidence to convey to them who we think are the top performers for food safety.
Along those same lines, and isn't it true that some violations might carry more weight than others? For example, like a foodborne illness at a restaurant is different than, you know, the soup being 10 degrees too cold. I'm just guessing, but.
Yeah, so yes, there are certain food safety violations that we know are more directly linked to foodborne illness, and we wanted to be able to make sure that those were directly captured in the rating system. So our inspection is broken into two main categories. One set is something we call red critical violations. Those are the violations that we know to be directly linked to foodborne illness. That includes things like hand washing, temperature control, ensuring that foods are cooked to the right temperature, that hot foods are hot and cold foods are cold. It ensures that we avoid situations of cross-contamination where meat could contaminate lettuce or something that you're going to eat raw. And so we focus on those violations for the rating system. We also have other violations that we do look at, and we refer to those as floor, walls, and ceilings violations. So things that might be more focused on maintenance and care of the building itself. And we do address those items in our food safety inspections, but for the rating system, we've chosen to focus most specifically on those violations that are linked to foodborne illness.
If a restaurant doesn't meet the minimum standards, will it be shut down?
Yes. So if a business is open for business, it has met the minimum standard to be open. If a business has not met that standard, so let's say a business doesn't have hot water, or their refrigeration system isn't working and they can't keep temperatures cold, or if something happens, if there's a sewage backup in the restaurant, those are all examples where we would not hesitate and we would close a business until they're able to operate safely. And so if a business is open, you can be assured that they have met that standard. The lowest category in our rating system, which is the needs to improve category, that means that the business has met the minimum standard, but over the last 12 months, at some point in time, they've been closed or they've needed multiple return inspections in order to address those issues. And we feel that that's significant enough to keep them in that lowest category and that the public should know about that.
How much time goes by before that restaurant has a chance to get out of that category? Like how soon would an inspector come by to see if they've improved their business?
We will be updating the signs with every routine inspection that we do. We've decided to focus on routine inspections and not return visits because we think that that's more accurate to how that business might do on any given day, their performance during our unannounced visits. For places that we find that have a lot of food safety issues that we want to address, we may be going back and visiting more frequently to ensure that they have made those changes. But the needs improvement sign will stay with the business for up to 12 months if they've been closed within that 12-month period or if they've had multiple return inspections.
How much time is between the 4 visits that determine the rating?
It varies for restaurant. So on average, we tend to inspect a restaurant between 1 and 3 times a year based on the complexity of their food service operation. And so it may be that they're getting an inspection every few months, or it may be that they're getting one once a year.
Should it be right side up? Okay. There we go. There you are.